Hey everybody, this is Eli Freestone and you're watching my Project 2 review video for Apple Objective-C 2, term 1307. I'm displaying via Air Server from my iPad. Sorry about the lack of eyesight camera, unfortunately the background noise was just too much again. Now let's go ahead and get going here. For this project I actually ran into some fairly substantial issues, the biggest of which is I got a rather late start on it. So then when I hit the other issues that I'll kind of get into later on in the video, I actually had to look more for side steps as opposed to actually fixing the issues. But again, we'll go over that a little bit later. As you can see, the background by default is dark gray, and then you can change it to cyan, yellow, or red with the segment buttons up top. We have the quantity buttons, or the quantity stepper, I should say, and then the individual guitar buttons. They actually display the year, make, and model of the guitar in my text field. And then the find total actually takes the math from last week and then multiplies it by quantity to get the overall total. So let's go ahead and add some more to that there. The Schecter one, because I did number of notes, it's doing that again. The ESP is added value. Let's just click that guy here. And then the BC Rich is total value. And one thing I really wanted to add, but unfortunately I haven't had time to do, is actually some more buttons so you can manipulate the unique data members for the individual subclasses, just so you can get some more, manipulate the outcome some more, like changing the number of strings or the number of frets for the Schecter, so on and so forth. I also have the info button that pops up a black second view with my name and my profile picture. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way, and I'm going to run this in the simulator so I can show you the button disabling. Uh, the three guitar buttons can only be clicked once until another one is clicked. I actually use that logic also to grab for the fine total, and I think that worked out mighty well actually. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the code a little bit here. As I said before, I did end up starting a lot later than I wanted to, so there is a couple of things in my logic that I think I could have done a lot better. I feel they're a little bit cobbled together. Um, it is functional, I just don't like the way I did things. The biggest one of which is actually in my onClick function here. I'm creating an instance of the individual subclasses so I can grab the year and the model name, and then I'm creating a second instance of those subclasses again for the onCalculate, which would be the function for the find total button. And what I really wanted to do was capture those instances into some sort of a variable and then inject that variable into the individual functions. What I thought would work actually created some odd behavior, and unfortunately I didn't have any more time to mess with it, so it did have to go back to this way, but I'm hoping at least sometime in the future I can figure out what the best way would be to do that. I know I won't be able to get it done for this project per se, but it's just something that really has been bugging me. That actually also reminds me that there's another thing that I do need to fix before I turn this in tonight, and it's actually the one thing that I got marked off on from last week's project, and that would be this add value. I'm creating this item and then not really using it. I'm not returning it or anything like that. I was actually originally going to get that fixed before I even really got going on the project, and unfortunately it slipped my mind until just now. So I'm definitely going to try and get that done before turning in tonight. Looks like I have a hour and 45 minutes or so to figure out exactly the best way to fix it and then get it fixed in all the different places. So one of the issues I ran into that I had to sidestep is actually related to having the multiple nib files for iPhone and iPad. For some reason, as soon as I started using the interface builder, if I tried to launch my app in either the simulated iPad or on my iPad, it created a crash. And I wasn't really able to figure out exactly what was going on, but I had to sidestep it, and the way I fixed that was actually moving to a single nib file. I do still have the iPad one, but it's blank. And then that also created some weird behavior where some of the buttons would get moved when it was on the iPad, where others would stay. And the way I overrode that was I actually manually entered in some constraints. That's what the dark blue line here is. So yeah, I guess that's about it. This has been Eli Freestone for Project 2 for AOC2, term 1307. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.